What is up, guys? What's going on? Today we are doing your bonus reading. So check this out if you are Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Before we jump into it, I just wanted to announce that I made a new astrology channel. So check it out if you're interested in that kind of content. The link to join is in the description box. I will be mainly focusing all my efforts on that channel now. So hope to see you there. And anyway, guys, let's jump right into your reading because actually I really felt a message was coming through, an important message. So let's see what it's gonna be. You know, I sometimes when I start posting these videos, I start getting more messages because it's like, you know, I guess I'm connected with you. So anyway, your first card here is the Hanged Man. I feel like recently you had an epiphany of some sort. You have, like, what I'm getting is that they're showing me like you had this sign of relief. So maybe you have let go of something. Maybe you have let go of certain hope. Maybe something has ended, or you saw, like, you got clarity about a situation that I feel like you couldn't get clarity about for a long time. Because as you know, right, with a Hanged Man, this is like the lesson here is to let go, right? To let go and surrender. And once surrender usually happens, there is some kind of epiphany that takes place as well. So I feel like recently you have let something go, and that had led to enlightenment of sorts. Okay, let's see what else for the Hanged Man energy. Very important month of Pisces for you. If you guys also have Pisces in your chart, it's very, very important time, because I keep seeing like something like imagery, not imagery, symbolism of Pisces keep popping up whenever I do your reading. Okay, and we also have here King of Cups. I feel like there is a situation that I think is mainly romantic. It could be with someone who has Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer in their chart as well. I think that it has to do with an emotional connection that you've had with someone for a very long time. And I think that you might have chosen, you might have chosen to either surrender or give up on certain connection that you couldn't give up on for a very long time. It's almost like even though you told yourself and you told the world that you no longer care about that person, there was a part of you, I think, deep down, that has always hoped that maybe like one day things will work out. Maybe one day magic will happen, a miracle will happen. And even though, like, I feel like you might have not even been admitting this to yourself because that's how crazy that was sounding, but there's a part of you, there's always been, no matter how much you moved on and moved away from something, there's been a part of you, I think, that always hoped for a better, you know, like outcome, like some kind of miracle would happen. It might have even been subconscious. Hanged Man to me represents subconscious as well. Okay, let's see what else. We have here the Sun. The person could have strong Leo in their chart, Sun in Aries, Sun in Leo, Sun in the 5th house, maybe if none of those placements are correct, Sun in Pisces even as well, maybe even Sun in Aquarius, because Sun is in Aquarius now. There has been this energy with the Sun card here where, you know, you saw, my attention is drawn to the red color here, like a red flag, literally. I think you've seen the signs about the red flags early on about something. Year 2019 could have been important too. Something about number 19 is important here. I think you've seen you saw the red flags of something early on, but there has been a part of you that never accepted that. It's almost like you always chose to see the best in someone. You always chose to see the good in that person. It's almost like you looked at the person like a child, hoping one day they could, you know, grow up, not in literal way, obviously, but more like they were immature, but you were hoping that things were going to get better. And I feel like, let's see what's next. With the 7 of Cups, you didn't even know how you ended up in a situation, but you ended up in a situation where you were emotionally confused, whether you're on the right track in life, what's going on with you. Like, you couldn't understand. I see some of you were going through Neptune transit to one of your placements, maybe Neptune, maybe you have like Pisces placements or Virgo placements or even Gemini and Sagittarius placements, and Neptune was making, I see, like a hard aspect to one of those placements. So either opposition square, maybe even conjunction, I'm not sure, but there's something about Neptune energy that you know, it's almost like there's been this fog for you, like in your mind, where you didn't even understand like what you were doing. Maybe you felt like you were not literally but figuratively under a spell, because I see that you were so drawn to somebody's soul, to somebody's spirit. It almost made you like high. And even though you saw that there were many issues, many potential problems, you kind of chose yourself to not look at that. I don't know why they want to talk about this today. Okay, Seven of Wands. There's been obstacles that you had to overcome. Many times where it's almost like here you were fighting, I think, yourself, your own intuition, because there's been a part of you that's been kind of like showing you how things are actually, you know, not really what you wanted to be, that you actually deserve to be in a better place. But there's been another part of you that just refused to give up on someone, that refused to let go of a situation. And of course there is psychological, you know, reasoning for that as well, which you need to investigate in your own individual situation. This is not meant to be this kind of advice, but I'm getting that there has been a lot of fights and battles which kind of left you sort of exhausted at the moment. Sorry, as I was recording this video, part of it got cut off, unfortunately. But the next card that I pulled after the Seven of Wands was the Queen of Wands. I'm getting that the person you could have been connecting with, or you are yourself, could have been a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And I'm getting that you at the moment are choosing to not waste your energy on anyone anymore. It's like you, instead of fighting all of these energies which are not in alignment, fighting for someone maybe who is not fighting for you, you chose to take your power back and sit high on your throne. What's interesting, the next card that I pulled is the Queen of Swords. What attracted me in this Queen of Swords, and I feel like it's a bit of a warning message for you, because here what I'm seeing with this Queen of Swords are these clouds here. So I'm getting that if you're not careful, you might again get confused about something, because I feel like there is a moment that's taking place right now where your heart is starting to soften again. Your guard is kind of like falling down a little bit. And I'm getting that for some of you, maybe it's even connected with Mercury retrograde, but there is this energy where part of you is questioning and wondering whether you indeed made the right choice when you cut another person off. Or maybe it could also be an energy where you're wondering, so if this person was never my true soulmate, if this person was never the person I was meant to be with, why did I even meet him or her? Why there was so much blood spilled? I don't know if that's correct, you know, hyperbole, right? Metaphor. But it's almost like there is a part of you that, if you're not careful, could get really confused here. I'm also seeing that there's, yes, I mentioned there's something about Neptune transit that could have been taking place, but it's like, I think that there is a part of you that still is seeking a little bit of closure. Why did certain situations have to unfold the way it did? And what I'm also getting here is that I think that you have to right now work extra hard on making sure you are not getting distracted. Because what I'm seeing is that there is something in you that almost feels like there is no resolution. It's like you did let go. Yes, correct here with the Hanged. However, it's almost like even though you found your light, you found your clarity, there is still something within that almost like doesn't fully, like there's something that doesn't 100% add up, you know, where like I feel like you're questioning something. Maybe it has to do with Mercury retrograde at the moment, even though I don't think that it necessarily affects you know, everyone so much. The next card that I pulled were also Ace of Cups reversed with a Hierophant. I'm getting that there has been a situation where there was a very beautiful opportunity for love and a relationship that just never went anywhere. Somehow there might have been somebody who rejected an opportunity, or somebody who didn't honor that cup of love, that love being offered. It could have had to do a lot with maybe some spiritual differences, like religious differences. Just maybe one person even could have been in a relationship, another, you know, or another, like, or both were in a relationship. But I'm getting that at the moment what's extremely important is that you honor the progress that you've made this far, that you really value how far you have come from a place where you were fighting for someone who maybe didn't care about you the way you did care about them. And I'm almost getting that there is a little bit of this risk of where this other person is gonna try to, like, it's almost like because you are so withdrawn from whoever you dealt with before, it could be like an ex or somebody, like some kind of situation you had. I'm getting that it's almost like because you're so withdrawn at the moment, they want to provoke you in some way. Like, that's what I'm getting here. There's also something about marriage or some kind of spiritual pilgrimage, maybe even as well with the Hierophant. And we have here 5 of Cups. I think that whoever you dealt with also is disappointed at how a situation has turned out. There is a part of them that kind of like never, like also never healed from the experience, whatever that was. But at the same time, what I'm also getting is that the person that you've dealt with before and you yourself are on a very different levels of emotional intelligence. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, because the way you feel things and how deeply you feel and how deeply you're willing to go into sacrifice, they were never, it's not even that they didn't want to. No, it's one thing when you don't want to, but you are capable of that. I feel like they were not even ever capable of that. Like, for example, like you might now want to do something, but it's actually, possible for you, maybe with a different person or with a different set of circumstances. I feel like whoever that person was, they never even had that emotional depth to reach places where for you was not even the deepest. Something that is shallow for you, for them, is already out of their reach. I hope I'm making sense with this type of analogies. And we have here 8 of Cups, and of course, because there was this endless disappointment, you've left the situation, you've gave up here on, like on a place where, like, how they say a hungry heart doesn't stay where it's not fed. And like, I think when you were living behind something here, part of you kind of wanted, like deep down, wanted to see another person change and transform and maybe like correct their behavior or whatever that was. Not just pursue you, like, but still being the same person. It's kind of weird, here, because you did leave behind a lot here and you did sacrifice a lot. But the sadness I'm getting, the sadness of the things that were never said to each other and how everything just kind of ended, that's what gives this situation this weird vibe. And at the moment with the 9 of Wands, you're very guarded. You are careful to not be hurt again, because I think the heartbreak that you had was very traumatic. You are still maybe not 100% recovered from that. You see how this person has, right, this band-aid, not band-aid, but whatever, over his head, and you're almost like scared, what if I'm gonna get hurt again? While, with the 6 of Swords, you're just keeping moving on. You're just in this energy where you keep moving on. But what's interesting is that I'm getting, let me see, why are they showing us that? What is another person's energy towards you now? We have here 10 of Wands. It's almost like another person just always found excuse why, they couldn't give you what is it you wanted. However, they expected you maybe to wait for them, or they expected you to, I don't know, like to still love them maybe no matter what, or something like that. Maybe a person was a bit like narcissistic. I'm not saying they were narcissists. I don't want to throw these words around, unnecessarily, but maybe they were. And it's almost like they always were hiding behind something, whether it's busyness, whether whatever. But the question is, like, even in the recent past, it's almost like they have, like, there's no more excuses. And at this moment, it's just like, it's a cowardness energy. They show me energy coward, they say. Page of Wands reversed next to 2 of Swords. I think this person was recently, either they messaged you, but you blocked them, or maybe they didn't even message you because they were so scared, or maybe you already blocked them and they didn't even have like the way to reach out to you, or maybe they just never had the courage to reach out to you. But basically there were some things they did want to tell you, they never did, because you are also closed off. You are not willing to open up and to allow anyone hurt you ever again. But what I'm getting is that this person, let me see, because I don't know why they just like very random. I don't do this kind of videos anymore, but they said it was important. It was, yeah, because it's almost like there's things almost like this person wants to ask or say. It's like, it's almost like they are also moving on. And by the way, strength at the bottom, Leo energy. It's almost like they're also moving on. And it's almost like, you know how sometimes before like you start a new journey in your life, when you, let's say, start a new job, a new project, a new relationship, or have a family or whatever, usually like spiritual people at least, right, try to make sure that beforehand they do this something new, every like loose end is cut. So like everybody forgiven, you paid all your debts, there is no major issues. Or even, you know, like we do this sometimes right before New Year's Eve, right? Before New Year's Eve, you want to make sure like you paid all your bills, your debts, your whatever your situation, you're coming into something new clean, right? So I'm getting that there is some kind of new beginning going on in this person's life as well. And it's like, and it's almost like they are realizing that they are not going into that new beginning clean, because there has been still like unresolved situation, like unfinished business or whatever with you. And it sucks for them, but you know, sucks for them, but like they had plenty of chances, right? With the Six of Wands, I think what also came between the two of you was pride, and somebody just expected that everyone would cater to them. Again, a bit selfish, narcissistic energy. It's almost like there is this weird energy where there's a competition who is going to get their life together faster. And I don't know if you even, you know, if you are even participating in that competition. Maybe this person's participating, competing with themselves. But what's not allowing them to actually fully have the victory is because there's been things, it's almost like you never had like a conversation, a closure conversation, or they never really told you something that you needed to know. We have here, look at this, 10 of Cups reversed, Ace of Swords reversed, Queen of Pentacles reversed. I'm getting that you are also symbolizing this very nurturing, stable energy. And once the connection between the two of you was broken, everything was also like, you know, basically victory was no longer there. Clarity was no longer there. What does this person want from you right now? We have here very interesting cards. 4 of Cups next to the 6 of Cups. It's almost like there is a part of them that wants to, I don't want to say necessarily get back with you romantically. I don't feel like it could, maybe for some people it's the case, but the 6 of Cups is usually like a reunion. You know, white here represents purity. So this is when you are like in this energy where, you know, like, let's be friends again, let's be cool again, let's like, no bad feelings, no bad blood type of situation. There's a part of them, I think, that misses you. However, look at that, right next to this is 4 of Cups, which is like someone who is also denying their own feelings, who pretends that, you know, they don't feel that, who doesn't really also do anything about that situation. Anything else? 8 of Swords, exactly, like feeling like stuck, feeling like, you know what, no, I cannot do here, I'm not in the right moment, I'm not in the right situation, ending up never doing about that. Next to 4 of Swords is a Star. I feel like somebody here really needed healing, and healing is what they're getting as well, like a recovery from a difficult situation. And I'm getting that it's really also up to you to fully like release that from your experience. Now, I know that you can never force forgiveness, or like, you know, when there's a part of you that still is like also looking for answers and closure, it's kind of hard. But I think like what helps, of course every situation is individual, is understanding that, you know, sometimes your closure is that, you know, you accept things that they like ended, and maybe it's not everything you understand. And even if another person told you everything from their perspective on how they feel, you will still never fully understand it from their perspective, because you're a different person. So I'm getting like here, it's up to you whether you want to forgive someone or not, to let go that energetically, because I'm almost getting there is still something energetically holding to people, which you don't always consistently feel that connection, but it does pop up like occasionally, maybe like, I don't know, some kind of out of the blue, it could pop up as some dream you could see, or vision or whatever. And I'm just getting that, you know, what's also important for you, the warning is to not go back into that situation, to not get sucked into that pattern. So maybe for some of you it was a pattern like where another person had someone else and they were just kind of fooling around with you or something, or just like leaving you hot and cold, stuff like that. it's important for you to not go back to the pattern where you were traumatized. That's what they say. Even though I'm feeling like there is going to be a bit of the temptation towards that, but because I really think that the person wants to communicate, wants to say something to you, and it's almost like this is something that's holding still the two energies together a little bit. Ouch. We have here the Emperor, which I don't think is them. I think maybe you recently started dating someone, or you are seeing other people, or there is like in your relationship, in your life. And I think they are aware of that. Let me see what's underneath. 5 of Wands. It is leaving them kind of conflicted, maybe even, you know, where it's like they cannot believe you're like moved on, or like they have conflicted feelings. Part of them kind of wants also to release you, another part is also feeling conflicted. And I think what's weird is that this person, whoever they are, they themselves were always very conflicted about how they truly feel about you, because there has been a part of them that really did have feelings for you and really did care, but there's been also another part of where they like, I don't know, like why did they choose to like treat it, I don't know, not very well. I don't know, maybe it had to do with just the level of development where they were. Maybe they took you for granted, which happens unfortunately sometimes, because I feel like you were someone who gave fully your cup of love so much, because that's the card here that showed up as Ace of Cups reversed, was about love not being appreciated. So somebody came in with this love like this, and another person was like, oh, I don't really care about that. So it's almost like someone took your love for granted, but now they are also in this conflicted state, because it's like they wish, I think, that they would just like move on and like pretend nothing ever happened, you never existed, but they can't. And that's the thing. It's like they don't know why they're feeling that way. They kind of want to just cut you off or erase you in their mind, but they can't. And they feel also, I think, guilt partially that they never said some things, because they do have integrity. This is not a completely like sociopathic, you know, crazy, terrible person. It's a mature, yes, selfish, but I think that it's very complicated here how it is. Even though it's at the same time it's easy, because if someone wants you, they will be with you. We have here the Lovers, because that's the thing. I do think it's almost like when you just met, there was like this promise, this chance of love. However, you know, this is the Genesis literally, right? And what's again drawing my attention is the Cloud, which is the cloud that we're also seeing in the Seven of Cups, and the cloud that we're also seeing with the Queen of Swords. The reason why I'm mentioning this, because this is when every tarot, sometimes the way I interpret is based on the first symbol that draws my attention, because how I interpret the symbol like also matters in my way of how I read. So it's almost like there's been a promise, and it felt very meant to be when you just met this person. However, with this Cloud, once again, it's almost like right away something was also weird. And of course we have here the snake, you know, which is corruption of humanity, but not the animal, but you know, the symbolism. And once again, drawing my attention here is this Cloud, of course, again representing, of course, in symbolism, spirit is connected with that, yes, but here I'm just interpreting that based on my message here, like what I'm seeing. I'm getting that there's been confusion, almost like even when you were offering this person your love, they were confused. Why do you just love them? They haven't even done much to you. They even haven't, like, maybe they have this corrupt idea of love where you have to buy love or you have to do this and that for love. They couldn't understand how someone could just love them so deeply, unconditionally. And what's interesting as well is that there was mutual confusion where they couldn't understand why someone just offering them this love, and you couldn't understand why they are rejecting that. So they couldn't understand why someone would just love them unconditionally, and you wouldn't understand why you're giving so much love and another person just like treats you like really not good. So right now there is this feeling that the situation is not like fully resolved, because this person does want to say certain things to you, but at the same time it's better not to even go there at all, because it's been closed for a reason. However, I feel like it's on their end that they are trying to have a new beginning in their life, but the way they left you or the way they treated you, something is like heavy, I think, on their chest. So yeah, that's the energy. Anyway, we're gonna take this to the extended because it's getting a little too heavy here to read. If you're resonating with this, link to the extended is gonna be down below in this video in the description box. I hope to see you there, of course, if it's resonating. We're gonna take a look, what does this person feel, why does this person acting the way they do, what do they want to tell you, what should you do. I think you should not by any means, even if you're not joining us to the extent it entertained us. However, we're gonna see what other cards come up, what was the lesson also of the situation to you, how can you also make sure you're keeping the progress in the good direction, and even if something pops up, what can you do to also overcome those feelings. Anyway, link to the extended down below. I'm gonna see you guys there. Don't forget to subscribe to my new astrology channel. We'll talk soon. Bye.